Good morning and welcome to Open the Book. Today we're going to begin a series of stories about a man in the Old Testament of the Bible, a long time before Jesus was born, in the book of the Bible called Exodus. We're going to think about a man called Moses. Now, you've all heard of Moses before, I know, because last year we did the same story. We were doing a theme about babies in the Bible last year. And the first story we have of Moses in the Bible is when he was a baby. And so I'm going to use the same film that we made last year of Moses, and you'll recognize the Open the Book team in it. It was filmed probably 2 autumns ago, actually, back in 2020. And you'll see baby Wells, baby Joseph, Mrs. Wells' little boy, Noah and Daisy's brother, who was a little baby then, and he is playing the part of Moses. Now, Moses was born in Egypt, but he was born to a Hebrew family who had lived in Egypt because they were slaves. All the Hebrews had been captured by the Egyptians and were treated as slaves. They were forced to work very hard. They made bricks and they helped build houses and palaces. But the Hebrew people were growing. They were marrying and having children. And the king of Egypt, who was called the Pharaoh, was not happy with this. He was frightened because so many Hebrews were living in Egypt. And not unlike King Herod, whose story we heard last week with the visit of the wise men, he made a rule that all new baby boys born to Hebrew women should be killed. What a horrible rule to make. And so Moses' mother had to make a very big decision on how she was going to look after her little baby, because no mum wants to see their baby harmed. So let's open the book and let's see what happened to this particular family in the story called The Secret Baby. There was a basket in the water. There was a baby in the basket. The baby's big sister was watching from the riverbank, and God was watching too. Why was the basket in the water? Why was the baby in the basket? Because the baby was a Hebrew, a great-great-great-grandson of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There are too many Israelites in Egypt, the king had said to his soldiers. If you're not careful, there will soon be more of them than of us. So I want you to kill every baby boy. Some mothers cried, some mothers ran, but this baby's mother was clever. She covered a basket in tar so it wouldn't sink. She laid her baby in the basket and prayed that he would be quiet. And she hid the basket in the reeds near the riverbank in the hope no one would notice. But somebody did, and not just anyone, the daughter of the king himself. She went down to the river to bathe. She spotted the basket boat. She fetched it out the water. And when she looked into it, oh, what a surprise! The big sister hid her eyes. She couldn't bear to watch. But God kept watching. He had special plans for this baby.
I don't care if this baby is a Hebrew.
The king's daughter announced.
I want to keep him, and I shall call him Moses. But I will need a servant, so she can feed and look after him.
And that's when God nudged the baby's big sister, just enough so she jumped up from where she'd been hiding.
A serving woman?
She shouted almost before she thought.
I know a serving woman who can help you. Well then, girl, go fetch her,
Commanded the princess. And God just smiled. For now, little Moses would be raised by his own mother, taught the Hebrew ways, and be ready for that day when God would use him to set his people free. And so Moses escaped from the cruel soldiers. Wasn't it amazing how it all worked out so well? For now he was safe, being brought up by his own mother, together with the princess. But what was God's plan for him? We'll hear all about what happens to Moses in the stories over the next few weeks. The story says that God had special plans for baby Moses for when he grew up. I wonder what will happen in your life as you grow up. Let's close your eyes and think about that for a moment. I'm going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, you can say Amen at the end with me. Dear God, thank you that even though Moses was only a little tiny baby, you had a special plan for him. Thank you that you have a special plan for everyone. Please watch over us as we grow up. Amen. So can't wait to see what happens to Moses next week. I know that Reverend Jane is telling you some of the Moses stories as well, and you had a story about Moses in assembly on Wednesday this week. So maybe you'll hear that story again in Open the Book. Who knows? Listen out for it. Have a good week and see you soon.